Test, yeah. Oh, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. Thanks everyone for the organization for doing this. I think everyone from the .sama ecosystem was looking forward to having an event just created for Polkadot and Kusama. So thanks a lot, and I think everyone here is very happy that everyone can meet each other, talking with each other. Even for us, talking to the guys from Makala and Moonbeam are incredible to see them like really offline. So today I'll do an intro about Astar. Just a basic one, it's like 5-10 minutes. Then we will go over to the limitations of EVM, the solutions we offer at Astar. This will be done by our CTO, Hoon. He is more technical, so he can explain it much more better than I do. So in case you have questions, technical questions, you can always go and meet him upstairs or here in the venue. So I'm Maarten, I'm the head of ecosystem development. I've been working for Astar for almost 2 years now. I'm from Belgium, so I'm very happy that I can come here by train and car. So I also speak Dutch. Just if you want to speak it in Dutch, you can always ask me, and I'm more than happy to answer all your questions. So first, I want to talk about the parachain that we won. We won the parachain in December, and we launched in January. We also have the Astar Network. That's a parachain on Kusama. A good thing about, another good thing, but what I want to tell you about the parachain on Kusama, you already saw that a lot of the new parachains are getting at the end of the lease period. So most of the parachains are going after a new slot by their own company funds. We decided to do it a little bit differently. So we will do like still a mini crowd loan. Why are we doing this? We want to get more people knowing more about Kusama and getting them back into the ecosystem, because now all the focus is to Polkadot, which I also understand. But we still have a parachain on Kusama. We still have a canary network, and all other parachains also have a canary network. So we still need to maintain them, and we still need to get traction to them. Otherwise, we will lose the way a canary network is built for. So that's why we want to do a new crowd loan, a mini crowd loan together with our funds, but to get new people into the Kusama ecosystem again, and also new projects to be building on Kusama on Shiden. So what about Astar? What's Astar? So we are trying to be like, or we are the smart contract hub on Polkadot and Kusama. With smart contracts, I'm not talking only about EVM, like everyone knows about EVM, but also about WASM. So we will create an ecosystem for developers to build with smart contracts. They can choose what they want to do. They can choose, okay, I want to build with Solidity, I want to build my contract on EVM. Sure, you can use Astar, you can use all the toolings that you get from Ethereum, you can use them. Or you can say, okay, let's try to do something else, let's try to create some projects with WASM. We will also provide this infrastructure for developers to use. We got great news as well today. I believe that there's a new PR coming for the ink and the contract palette. So we are very excited about this, meaning that it will be more mature on Kusama. So we are very happy that the WASM part will be live very soon on our mainnet. It still was a little bit backhold, but it's already available on a testnet. So if you want to build something with WASM, just do it on a testnet. If you want to build something with EVM, you can always use Astar. So we currently are one of the top parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem, considering the TVL, considering the usage of our network. So we already have proven ourselves, we already have a lot of usage in our network. Another thing that we are also focusing on is the bridging to other new layer 1 blockchains like Cosmos, like Ethereum, and more are coming as well. So to build a layer 1 blockchain, a smart contract blockchain, it's very important to have all the toolings available. Like if you don't have toolings, if you don't have oracles, if you don't have indexes, there's no way a project can build on you. So we have made great relationship with all the projects you see. A lot of them are here as well. You got Subsquid. We are working together with Talisman as well. We work with the protocols for the XCM with Akala and Moonbeam that are all going live very soon. Our great backers as well. If you see DFG, he did a talk yesterday, a great one. So this is an overview about our ecosystem. With tooling, you also see SuperColony. SuperColony is the I don't say the contractor that we work with. We have a collaboration with them. They are very high into WASM. So we are working very closely with them to get the hype going on for WASM for everyone who wants to build on Polkadot. So Toma will do like a lecture later today. So you must see her, and she will explain more about SuperColony as well as why we really need WASM. This is an overview about the current state of our ecosystem. That is us at this moment. So we have around 900 million in TVL in the project on our EVM side. I did, like in the screenshot, the top 3 projects. That's like the landing protocol, the bridging solution, as well as just an AMM. And you see below the chain data, we have over almost 300,000 wallets that have a balance. So we have a lot of users now in our ecosystem. And as you can see on the graph on the right, that there's an increase in transactions on our EVM side as well. So in case you are looking for building something, we got the TVL at this point. We have the community as well who can help you build your project. So now we're going to a little bit more technical. So I will leave this to Hoon. He will tell you about the implementation of EVM as well as how we bring the solutions to all the developers here.
Thank you, Maarten, for the great introduction. So yep, now I'll be talking about the boring stuff, but probably you guys will love it, so don't worry. So first, problem with EVM. And EVM itself is quite limited. As if you guys program in Solidity before, you guys might know that EVM, all the arithmetics are done in 256 bits, which means that, that's more than 64 and 32 bits combined, and we're not living in the 90s where we're comparing with bit sizes for game consoles, and this problem is that there's so much overhead involved in it due to size. Also, the contract size is limited to 24 kilobytes. This was introduced after the EIP 170 change, hard fork, and this was to basically prevent the blocks from bloating as the usage increases. Another problem with EVM right now we have is the Solidity tooling is actually quite limited and very primitive. I know you guys might know already about Hard Hat, Ganache, Truffle Suite, and we're in Netherlands, so of course truffles. It's very primitive compared to what we know, like NPM or Cargo. So if we want to onboard new developers to build on EVM, we have to let them really we have to teach them how Solidity works, how the tooling works, especially if you're coming from a Web 2 background. Another problem with EVM is because of the aforementioned EIP 170 changes, you cannot implement complex logic. You have to split the contract into multiple sizes, and if you're using existing ERC standards for your contracts, then your contract size will be easily bloated, which is also another problem that a lot of developers nowadays are facing. And if you consider the block size limitations that we have on substrate EVM networks, which is about half of the mainnet or Polygon mainnet and Ethereum mainnets block size gas limits, it's really difficult to create something that you already are used to. Another thing is, okay, so EVM, we all know that EVM is kind of old, it's a little bit bloaty, but we know we got the Ethereum quote-unquote 2.0 promise of EWASM, where we can implement, where we can use WebAssembly to use EVM directly. However, EWASM itself is also quite slow and very low performing compared to native WebAssembly smart contract environments because of the IEE, which is like the interpreter for EVM. And this means that we have to implement 256 bits of arithmetics all the way back into EVM within the WASM layer. You have to maintain backwards compatibility, and that makes EWASM kind of pointless if you think about it. And as I mentioned before, Solidity and Viper, it's a very new language, very strange. Also Viper, too gross to me. It's difficult to explain how smart contract-oriented languages work to someone who never heard about blockchain before, and how can we invite those developers into this environment if we're not, instead of just coming together with people who already really know. So next. Yeah. There's another problem with EVM, and this is not really with EVM itself, but more like the whole ecosystem of dApps. See, in Astar Network, we see EVM dApps being very stagnating. I mean, they're really great. We had a lot of innovative projects, like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, a lot of swaps in there. But if you think about it, they're all just a derivative of itself. They're all forking. There's so many forks. You walk and you get poked right away. And it's really easy to it's really easy to get rich in crypto if you think about it too. Just fork whatever GameFi, lending protocol, DEX, NFT marketplace, whatever makes you money. Just put a little bit of money in it, contribute to the liquid provider, and you get more money back. That sounds amazing, right? So yeah, fork it. Just give it a new name. Just give it a cute logo if you like some of your favorite foods, or if you like some favorite planets, you can name after that. It's amazing. And then just deploy it on a new EVM compatible network and call it a new original Dapp, which, I mean, it kind of is technically speaking, but when you're seeing the same program over and over again, and they're all about token sales, blah, 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 liquidity, whatever, and then they make a lot of money that they don't even know how to use it, so they probably go to Amsterdam and just have fun, which is great. So what is our solution to this issue? So in Astar Network, well, first, before we go into the solution part, let me first introduce to you what WebAssembly is. So at a glance, it is a stack-based, very portable virtual machine. And it is capable of running hardware 32 and 64-bit native arithmetics, so very efficient, very performant. And as I also mentioned, it's very portable, and I want to emphasize this because you can also run this from your browser. Imagine, like, we can live in a world where you can have a light client on your browser. Like, that is so crazy, right? It's in a safe, isolated sandbox, and it runs in almost near native level performance thanks to its assembly-like instructions. And it's also compatible with so many different languages, and compilers can use WebAssembly as a target to compile. So for example, we have C++, Rust, Go. I hear C# can sort of do that, but technically you're doing it from C++ because of the IL, whatever. And you also have assembly script, my favorite. So yes, now, looking at the WebAssembly, the characteristics of WebAssembly, you can see that it sounds a lot like what blockchains are doing. And this is like a match made in heaven. So Substrate uses WebAssembly for a lot of its things. It's compiled to WebAssembly. That's why it's able to have this beautiful runtime upgrades, like forkless upgrades. That is so beautiful. I love it a lot. And we also have Ink, which is the contract language for Substrate's contract palette, which compiles down to WASM as well. And it uses similar principles, similar architecture as how you would develop palettes, only with different gas policies and access levels. And one of the great things about what WASM enables in this environment here is that we can see so many unique use cases in parachains, like Akala, Nodl, Fala, my favorite projects. You can't make this in just a smart contract, especially not with EVM. Like, oh God, no. And also, great thing about having a WebAssembly as a common place for as a compiler target, especially for smart contract, is that you can write smart contracts in various languages. We have Ink in Rust. You have Solang. I use Solidity here because Solang does not have a logo. But yeah, basically you can use Solidity to compile down to WebAssembly. You also have Ask, which uses assembly script to compile down into WebAssembly. That's also compatible. And these, you can write the same contract using 3 different languages. So that is what the Astar Network is trying to leverage. How do we use WebAssembly to do this? We want to encourage people to create new contracts that is not limited by the limitations in EVM. Think out of the box, encourage new developers in Web2 space to create something in a blockchain. Use their own ecosystem tools, the language that they're used to. And we also have Dapp staking here, which is a palette that Astar Network, it's Astar Network original palette. And idea of Dapp staking is quite simple. Traditionally, when you're staking for something, you generally stake to a validator as your proof of stake, and validators can receive rewards. The stakers can receive a portion of that block reward. But for Astar Network, because we are a parachain, we do not require a validator. So that means that we only have collators, and we can reallocate those block rewards into other places. And we have this feature where you can stake to a smart contract, and for every block reward, the developer of that smart contract will be receiving block rewards, and the stakers can receive a portion of that reward as well. The idea here is that we want to create an environment where an entire protocol where developers can develop their projects, and instead of having their own token sales, focusing on liquidity, going to the moon or whatever, they can really focus on delivering a project or a product that users can use. And through Dapp staking, users can directly support that project. And it would encourage the projects to focus on delivery and value that's unique. And that's also where we are leveraging WebAssembly, because it is a new language, something that people who are in the traditional Web 2 space can also use. They can create some unique projects they can't really work with on traditional smart contracts. And this also goes in tandem with how parachains work too, because if you look at how difficult it is to set up a parachain nowadays, keeping up the runtime is so difficult, and just developing one is so difficult. You can see a lot of parachain projects or potential parachain projects that does not really justify becoming its own parachain, and they could just become a smart contract. I'd say WASM is something that really enables that. And see, this is how our Dapp staking portal works in our Astar portal. You can see a list of projects that are deployed on Astar Network, and you can choose a project that you want to support, and you can stake it directly to a project, and developers will be able to receive it. The whole idea is to take the best part of Patreon and crowdfunding without any risk, without losing any money, and support the creators and developers and projects that you like. And now, I know I've been shitting a lot on EVM projects, and you can also, if you know our network, they're all EVM deployed on EVM. Well, our swap, Astar DJs there are, and yeah, I mean, it's not like we hate. It's not like we hate EVM. It's just like we want to. EVM keeps up the light, you know. But WASM really gets the heart beating. And that's what we really want to emphasize. We want to encourage people to create innovative projects, new projects that we've never seen before, that can shape the future of Web 3.0. And that's why it's important to have these language capabilities and performance that WebAssembly provides to smart contracts. So developers don't have to think about how to really develop the economic ecosystem for their project, no token sales, no nonsense, just directly create something like the traditional way. And imagine all the products you can see. And if you look at how WebAssembly enables these new languages, it's how we can onboard new innovative projects and also new developers to Web3 ecosystem. You can also look into the transition between Web 1 and Web 2. If you look at Web 1.0, it was the static web age where you're using HTML to develop websites. It's not interactive, it's just view only. And then we got Web 2 where it's interactive, you can upload something. But to make that, they had to use jQuery in the beginning, and I don't want to use jQuery. I don't even know how JavaScript works. I have to understand that. So the way how they can actually, Web 2 developers could onboard Web 1 developers to work on Web 2 project is by making JavaScript look like HTML. And I know if you guys are using React or Vue, you know what I'm talking about. In Web 3, we believe it's going to be a similar situation where at first we start with Solidity, but people sort of reject that, but they understand how this architecture works. We have parachains that uses this architecture of customizing extrinsics and creating unique values. But with WebAssembly, you can have the best of both worlds without having to keep up with every other overheads that's involved in it. And this is just a favorite quote of mine that I just came up with. But yeah, life is too short to wait for Substrate to compile and too busy to keep up with Polkadot. But it's smart enough to write a contract. So if you guys want to create a new project, a potential parachain, or just something that's that's just a crazy idea. It's not a project that's about making money, a project that's not just another fork of what's existing, but something that you guys really believe in, then Astar is the best place to start. And I'll hand over. Well, it's not over yet, guys. No, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I'll hand over the microphone or the remote.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Hoon, for the technical insights. Is for me too difficult to understand sometimes, but hey, for some of you maybe also. But okay, I'm here for talk about a little bit more about the amsterDOT Hackathon. So tomorrow we really have our first workshop here, and that workshop will be focused on WebAssembly. So if you are looking a way to find out how you can compile your smart contract into WASM, how WASM works, how you can deploy your WASM contracts into our network, you have to come to our workshop tomorrow. And tomorrow we will show you everything from A to Z, what you need to know about this. This is done by Hoon, and other lead developers will be there as well to support you. So we want to make it like an interactive workshop where you can actually really ask questions to learn more about the power of WASM. So we created 4 bounties for all the hackers who are attending this event. So we have a total pool of 45,000 that we will pay in USDC. What are we doing? 4 bounties. Those can be built with EVM. Those can be built with WASM. It's up to you, hackers, what you want to do. So we want to have like a token bridge contract between WASM and EVM. The NFT Dapp staking micro rewards, liquid staking solutions with Dapp staking, and the Astar native wallet solutions. As you can see, we have a lot about Dapp staking because we made it possible to use Dapp staking into smart contracts where you can interact with our Dapp staking mechanism. So if you are willing to join, check out our GitHub. You will see everything you want to know about Astar, all the links that you need to do to follow us. And then I'm more than welcome to welcome you tomorrow to the workshop. So we are here with a whole team. So just search for The Ring and you will find us. We have all our developers here. We have our CMO as well if you're looking for some marketing activities together with us. Not everyone is here. Dino, one of our developers, is not on this picture. He didn't create his headshot, so he couldn't be here. But hey, feel free to check out our website as well, Astar Network. And I want to thank everyone for listening. And yeah, see you around. Thank you.